Can you touch on the POTA park identifier change? I've heard some people mention it, but I can't find anything on the POTA site. So there we go. And we will.
I will triggered about this.
We're going to talk about the change here, and basically, I'm just going to preface things off in a nutshell. What's happening is that the Parks on the Air program is going to change the prefix of the park numbers. From DXCC codes like K for the US, VE for Canada, et cetera, over to ISO or ISO codes, International Standards Organization codes. And there's a very specific reason why they're going to be using ISO codes instead of DXCC codes. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But in order to support the continued growth, both scale and global coverage, we're in the process of doing some cleanup and reorganization in the way in the programs, locations, DX entities, and parks are stored in the database. Long story short, the way it works is they're going to be switching to organizational structure ISO-3166-2, which defines codes for identifying the principal subdivisions, that is, the provinces or states of all countries. And why are they going to do that? So, I like K. Don't you like K?
K is great. It's special.
K is great. Yeah, because in the U.S., it's going to change from K over to US because the ISO code for the United States of America is US. The ISO code for Canada is CA, whereas the DXCC code used to be VE. And they made the switch last weekend over for the Canadian parks. All of the VE parks are now CA parks. So they're going to have, when you do a park-to-park contact, or if you're a hunter and you're copying down the park number, you're going to have to make that switch. And the reason is compatibility. As the program grows, as it's expanding, they're running into a problem with duplications. It's especially with the DXCC codes. So Canada's using VE as a designator. Well, if they bring Venezuela onto the program, their ISO code is VE, and this is causing problems in the system. So they're just going to bite the bullet and switch everything over to the ISO codes, and that will it's a little bit of pain for us in the beginning, but in the long run, it's going to make for a better organized and more stable database. So, and that's in a nutshell. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to also be doing some other types of cleanups to the park numbers and whatnot to make sure that there's consistency with the locations, names, etc. So it's a long process. They've been going at it slowly. The U.S. will probably change over in the next few weeks. They'll give you they'll give us a heads up when that's going to happen, so that hopefully nobody's going to be out in a lurch when it happens. So.
At the end of the day, does this ruin anyone's fun? No. No. So if you're complaining about it, I don't want to hear about it. I mean, because really, we're just changing a couple letters. Yep. It's not changing anything else, guys. So if you're complaining about it, I don't want to hear it.
That's right. That's right. As Tony says, from what I hear, most people are losing their shit, are mostly peeved that hammers won't make it.
Now it does with the PG-13.
Boop. Okay. Yep. And that brings us into, that's the problem.
Oh no, Hammers is done. Yeah. I'm pretty sure Hammers will make an update real quick and it'll be okay, guys. I mean, it's not that big of an update, Hammers. Just a couple lines of code that have to change.
So this is the deal. Hammer still works. The part that doesn't work with hammers is if you're connected to the internet while you're logging, the lookups are broken because it won't properly, if for Canada, if you're using a CA number instead of the VE number, its internal database is not recognizing it, and you don't get the grid square and the location populated into the logged field. And that's we've got that problem already with all of the parks that have been added since the last November or last October. Those aren't in the Hammers database either. So it's been broken since October. In essence, it's been broken since October, and it still works just fine. So when you make the ADIF file, everything is there, everything is correct, everything uploads. So
yeah, the part that matters the most is still there.
Correct. It's just that the online stuff. So, so that's
everyone just namaste, right?
Exactly. So hopefully, I don't know what's going to happen with hammers. It hasn't been updated in a year and a half, almost going on just about 2 years now. I think 2021. Yeah, it's been almost 2 years, 2022, since it's had some kind of a major update. And there's other bugs that I find more serious with the program than this park number problem. I've heard rumors that the developer is going to get back into it and fix those bugs. So we'll see what happens. There's other logging programs out there. N3FJP now has a POTA template for their AC log program. So that might be an option for people. AC log is Windows only though, and a lot of people like to use tablets and Mac and other devices. But rumor has it that they're going to port over to other platforms soon. So cross our fingers on that too. It might be a race to see who's going to get to the finish line first. Is Hammers going to fix the problems, fix the errors, or is N3FJP going to release multi-platform? So that
would make Travis's day. If you can start running that on Linux, he would be ecstatic.
So let's place our bets now on who's going to cross that finish line first. KB9VBR antennas are simple, effective, and affordable VHF and UHF antennas for amateur radio, MERS, public safety, and GMRS. Made in the USA with quality parts. Get yours online at jpol-antenna.com.